Hi, everyone. Welcome to MBA 522 Business Consulting. Today, we are going to go over the course introductions. And we will basically cover the administrating information. Then, in the second half of today's lecture, we will go over what is consulting. So let's get started. So in terms of the major course assignment, there are five important components. First one is class participation. Uh, please do know that this is a hybrid course, meaning you will watch part of the lecture online, while the other part of the course would be involved individual meetings. And please take a careful look at the course syllabus to see when the meetings hours are. And in terms of class participation, there are various ways your involvement will be counted toward the final grades. And the class participation consists of 25% of the final grade. The second major component is individual project. So you will have the opportunity to present your own business case analysis, and create a 5 to 10 minutes video to highlight the problems and explain what your recommendation would be. And that will consist of 15% of the final grades. There are three components that are involved around the consulting project. The engagement letters, which involve which would be a email communication between you and your clients. So, by the way, for all these consulting projects, it would be a team-based project. I will put you a group. I will put you into a group of 5 to 6 individuals, depending on the class size. Then the team together will work on a consulting project. So the engagement letter basically would be the agreement, will highlight the agreement between you and the clients, highlighting some of your key responsibility and what would be expected to be for both parties. We'll talk more about such engaged letter in the later lectures. The second component of the consulting project is the written report. At the end of this course, you will be responsible to generate such written report and deliver this report to your clients. And finally, you will also be responsible to create 10 minutes presentations highlighting what the problem is and your recommended solutions. That will account for 25% of your final grades. So let's take a look at each of these components in greater details. Before we do that, this is just a brief grading information, which is fairly straightforward, right? Shouldn't be it's standardized. It's the standard grading information that most of us use in Stony Brook University. So I'm not going to go over that in great details. In terms of class participation, there are three important things you would be able to account for. First, it's important for you to watch lectures and complete the reading and assignments on time. So that's important simply because lecture will provide you the foundation on knowledge and to help you to better prepare for this course. And this knowledge will be transferred into useful skill set if you are able to actually practice some of these framework we have learned in courses. And also, I want you to actively participate in class and online discussions. Remember that these online or in-person discussion will be very useful for you to not only test whether you understand the materials, but also will provide you an opportunity uh, to actually utilize the knowledge you have gained from lectures and apply that in class discussion type exercise. At the end of the course, I will also ask you to review and evaluate your team members' contribution. Because let's be frank, it would be very unlikely for me to uh, closely monitor what each team member would be doing in order to contribute to the overall consulting project. So that's why I would like to rely on you to provide that helpful information. This is not unique to my course. And in fact, if you go work in the industry, oftentimes what the supervisor would do is to conduct a 360-degree type of evaluations, asking, having not only the supervisor evaluate you, but also will ask your subordinate, your colleagues, or even your end users, customers, suppliers, or even buyers to evaluate your performance. So what we are really trying to do here is also to mimic the real life scenario, and so you will get better prepared. Second important component is the individual project. So as we mentioned earlier, you will have to present a 5 to 10 minutes presentation analyzing a real world business case. You can determine what situation, what companies you want to focus on, but overall, this will need to be a consulting like of case analysis. So what I mean by that is that it's important for you to pinpoint in your so in your presentation, you need to first introduce the project, the problem issues or the key stakeholders, then highlight what the specific problem they are facing or challenge they are facing. And then you need to provide helpful suggestions or recommendations based on the tools that you have acquired from all your MBA courses. Remember, business consulting course is really one of the capstone course that allow you to utilize and practice all the knowledge, skills, and abilities you have developed through your MBA program. And you will utilize any of those tool set you have acquired to analyze such a situation. So when you do these presentations, I expect you to go beyond simply explaining what the problem area is. I want you to provide your own opinions and recommendation on what a particular companies or individual could do to alleviate such challenge or concerns, right? And you will be great on effort, thoughtfulness, ingenuity of your solutions, and clarity of your arguments. And that will be actually that will account for 15% of the your final grades, not 25% as we have highlighted here. I'm going to change that. So about that, I have just changed the amount of grades being accounted for this project. And next, what we have here is the consulting project. One of the major components is how for any type of consulting is the initial engagement. So that's why I decide to use this as I make this an important part of the course, which is setting up an engagement letter, which account for 10% of your overall grade. So an engagement letter basically is a agreement between a document that highlight the agreement between the consultant and their clients, and is supposed to record the terms of their professional relationship. Simply because by putting these into a document format, both parties, both the consultant and the clients, will be able to see that what has been agreed upon, and this will allow the other party uh, to better understand whether the type of solutions that you provided or you intended to provide it will be exactly what they are looking for. So in such engagement letter, you want to outline the most fundamental aspect of your work, basically your responsibilities. Given that this course is uh, this project is based on this course, there's actually no fee involved. However, your client may decide to provide minor stipends or other resource, make those available to you. And if they have mentioned those, make sure you capture those in the engagement letters. And you also want to specify how long the duration of this consulting service and what would be the deliverable milestones, right? In the course syllabus, in the appendix section, I include sample letters, and there are also a number of other examples you can find online as well. And in one of the later section, we'll also talk about engagement letter as well. And the fourth component is the actual final written report for this consulting project. So basically, what you would do is that your group will conduct a comprehensive analysis of a company that I will assign based on uh, survey of based on a preference surveys. So in the first in-person meetings, I will invite several clients to come into the class, and these clients will highlight what their problems is and how they would hope you will be able to help them to address some of these concerns. So basically, you will act as a team of consultants, providing recommendation to member of the company's top management teams. So what you need the focus of this project and to utilize the concept, analytical tools and frameworks from this course and other MBA courses to analyze the strategy issues and then come up with uh, relevant solutions. So we will have more discussion about this as well. In terms of the final project, the presentation is also a major component. So business consulting is more than about giving great ideas. It's basically ultimately about how to convince others that your recommended solutions will be one of the best that will help them to improve their long-term success. So that's why your it's important for you to create values. So that simply means you really want to present yourself and your business solutions in a meaningful and helpful professional manners. I encourage you to think creatively but at the same time act very professionally. Know exactly what they expect, and not only you want to highlight your recommendation, but whenever you present your recommendation, you need to also present the underlying rationales and evidence that help you to derive your solutions. So overall, you really want to make this convincing presentations. So others, when they see your recommendation, they will be able to gain a new perspective on how they can improve their business functions. And as I mentioned before, I will ask your team members to one another's, and that evaluation will be used create the to basically create to adjust your final grades, right? And before we finish this brief sections, I would also like to highlight a few things. First of all, a note on team assignments. Please know that 16% of your final grade will be determined by the last three project components, right? So that means it's important for you to come together and work as a group as quickly as possible. So, and also be aware that group assignment will be done in a fairly random manners to ensure that everyone will have the opportunities to work with people who they may not be familiar from before. This is to ensure that you have the opportunity to really expand your network. So MBA program or whether any type of MBA degree aim to help students to really broaden their network, broadening their networks. Because ultimately, it's people who are in the same cohort that may be able to help you in the long run. And this networking effect is really what makes MBA program valuable. So I really want you to take these opportunities to work with others you may have not met before. So please do use these opportunities to reach out and get familiar with others as well. And also, given the importance of teamwork, make sure you want to set some kind of working protocol as soon as possible. That simply means that you want to have the agreement on how to execute, how to do things, how to execute your plans, right? Because otherwise, if you don't have a working protocol, it will be very difficult to make decisions. So when in the very first meetings, you want to figure out a plan to determine how you will tackle all those different group project components, whether you want to use the divide and conquer technique, or whether you want to go through each items collectively, or each assignment collectively, and have basically working on the iterative documents simultaneously. However you choose, I will leave that up to you, right? And also, it's important to be both efficient and effective. That means that you really want to, before starting working on your group project, you really want to develop a better understanding of the strength and weakness of each team members. Let's face it, the truth is that no one can be good at everything, right? You may have the strength in analytical reasonings, while others may be better in terms of writing, communication, etc. So before you start deciding who should be responsible for what, I will encourage you to get to know each other better, understand what the strength and weakness of your team members, and also whether they have prior experience in related industry or areas. So it's important to understand who is good at what. Then if you do decide to do use the divide and conquer strategy to finish these group assignments, you will have a better ideas on who should be responsible for what. And third thing is that you want to set aside a regular time for meetings. So I will encourage you to meet weekly as soon as the class, the group has been assigned. By meeting regularly, early, you will be able to work on this project early on. You really do not want to wait till the last few weeks and then switch into panic mode and think that you can finish things up really quickly because that simply is not possible, right? And finally, be sure to use technology, right? I know sometimes it's difficult to set up to come together in uh, to work on this project, but that's fine. You may be able to set up a Google Documents and everyone can contribute at different hours. You don't necessarily need to work on such document uh, simultaneously. And if you cannot meet in person, use technology, right? Set a Zoom or Google Meet, and you can meet virtually as well, right? And that's it for this brief module. And please do make sure to watch the brief video introduce the concept of business consulting. Thanks so much.